everyone. I'm Jeremy Baker. I've lived in Lehi since 2021. I live here with my wife, 3 kids, and 2 dogs. Currently, I work as a cybersecurity lead architect, and I've been in the tech industry for 18 years. I graduated from UVU with a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice and a Master's of Science in Cybersecurity. I am running because I think some aspects of what we're doing in the city can be done differently. I would like to see our taxpayer money refocused on the parks so that we have a minimum option that's available for all of the parks to be used, and then open up additional phases of development to crowdfunding from resident donations. I think we have a great community here where we have a lot of donations and volunteering services that we could get some of the extra amenities at each of the parks done through volunteering services rather than taxpayer money. I also would like to look at the impact fees from the development and make sure that the impact fees are sufficient to meet the demands of the developments that are going in place. As we've seen, we've had issues with growth, and I think a lot of it is because we don't have enough money to keep up with that growth. And it could be that the infrastructure that we need is expensive beyond what our impact fees currently are at. I also love the small government.
What is one decision or action taken by the city council that you would have done differently?
The one decision that I believe I would have made a little differently than city council is in regards to the budget. I saw that there were changes in regards to parks and such, but I believe that parks and road infrastructure should have a larger percentage of the current budget of the city in order to meet the current demands that we have. We should be prioritizing based off of what is most essential and what everybody has been complaining about.
Is more of a scenario or philosophy, but walk us through your thought process of zone change. So a general plan zone change, how do you look at that and what is your walkthrough?
On a zone change, the first thing that I would be looking at is the applicant and if they owned all the property that they were asking to rezone. One of the biggest things that I think is important is that the person that is requesting the change actually owns the property. Even if they have been working with someone else and collaborating with their neighbors, I think they should be buying it prior to that. Or they should be coming in as a group or separate rezoning requests. The other process that I would be looking at is what kind of density that rezone would do, and then what the surrounding densities are. Having a major density change in the middle of a very low density, it doesn't fit, and it could be that the infrastructure there doesn't handle it already. Minor density changes, the infrastructure is probably already somewhat there and has minor taxpayer burden for changing that density.
We're handing out money. If you received a $5 million grant to use for the city any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why?
$5 million, I think I'd put it towards parks and specifically on maintenance and staff. I know I recently posted to Lehi City Chat because a certain area of my part of Holbrook Farms had a bunch of weeds around the sidewalk on undeveloped land and also city land. The other thing that I would look at is replacing all of the native grass with something that is usable. When it grows, it gets knee high. If a flame comes by, it is a fire hazard. It's not what grass, it's not as good as grass. Grass you can actually run around on, you can have pets, you can have kids. It's usable land. Native grass, you can look at it and it looks like nature. And you can't really walk through it or do anything with it.
So as part of your 60-second, now 90-second closing statement, start with letting us know what you admire, appreciate, or like about the candidate to your left, or to your next candidate. So Jason, Tyler, Michelle, so forth.
The thing that I like most about you is every time that I've been to a city council meeting, I can see you listen to everybody that talks. You watch them, and the comments that you have made are very heartfelt and thoughtful. And so I appreciate you being on the city council right now, and I think you are a great example for, I think, all of us. So in that, for my closing remarks, as an executive committee person on the Utah Libertarian Party, it would not be in any fashion to miss the opportunity to say taxation is theft. And so in that, I also want to say that because taxation is something that we need to take very responsibly, we need to be paying attention to what exactly we're using those taxes for. There are things that are absolutely essential, and I liked the principle that was put in the Lehi City budget where needs and absolute infrastructure stuff and important things for the city are funded by taxpayer money, but everything else that are luxuries, leisure items are funded by use fees. What I want to do if I get on city council is push towards more of a voluntary